Kristin Star, and this is the video for day number 247 of my Song a Day project. And the song that I'm doing is a song that I know from chorus from when I was in school. And I probably sang it in at least 2 different choruses, but I can't recall. But it's like my favorite chorus song of all time, and probably one of the best known. And prior to looking it up, I did not even know who it was written by, but I found that out. The song that I'm doing is River in Judea, written by Feldman, and performed by choruses all over the place. Oftentimes I dream of music, of the river that freely flows, and it sings a song sweeter than honey, one everybody knows. Late at night I hear it singing, then again when I wake at dawn, and it fills me up with hope and goodwill, the will to go on, and there is a river in Judea that I heard of long ago, and it's a singing, ringing river that my soul cries out to know. When I'm weary and downhearted, how I long for the song it sings, for the calm within its gentle blue, the peace that it brings, and there is a river in Judea that I heard of long ago, and it's a singing, ringing river that my soul cries out to know. May the time not be too distant when we meet by the river shore. Till then, dream of that wonderful day, and we sing once more, and there is a river in Judea that I heard of long ago, and it's a singing, ringing river that my soul cries out to the river in Judea that I heard of long ago, and it's a singing, ringing river that my soul cries out to know. That was my rendition of River in Judea, which, as I said, is my all-time favorite chorus song. Up there also are Hine Matov and Bashana Hawa'a. Those were pretty fun, although neither was English. Part of Hine Matov was. But, oh, and once in chorus we did a really cool rendition of Candle on the Water. And we also once did Puttin' on the Ritz. And then, you know, delving into madrigals, we did like Seaside Rendezvous, and I'm not sure if it was with madrigals or chamber choir or what. We did Blue Moon. I did some cool things over the years in choruses, and Holiday Time did lots of fun songs. I always loved Carol of the Bells, but I was like the boys' part, so I would just do whatever I wanted. I don't play well with others. I don't work well within a group. I would just move from part to part, doing whatever part I liked within the song. Probably one of the things that made me unpopular in chorus, but yeah, I'd be like, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. I think that was the boys' part, unless our alto part went into that. I was usually an alto too. I was always an alto with the exception of one half school year of this children's chorus I was in. It was this like county chorus news to me. But anyway, yeah, one term I got put in as a soprano too. I think I was mad. I didn't want to be a soprano. I liked being an alto. I was alto proud. So I think I put up enough of a stink that they recategorized me the next term. But yeah, my brief foray into the world of being a soprano, not like the mobsters. Anyway, but by the way, I never watched that show. Yeah, so I did chorus for years. I mean, you know, in elementary school, chorus is like a class, but then in junior high, high school, it's, you know, an elective, and, you know, and I was in the select choir from the point that I could be. And I was also in some county choruses, some state choruses. I think that's as far as it went. I was in regional chorus, district chorus, which is like the sending districts of the high school, and then like the 7th and 8th graders from there. Maybe 9th too? 7th and 8th, I'm not sure about 9th. But lots of choruses. So lots of fun songs over the years, but River in Judea was my all-time favorite. But being that, you know, I was one vocal part in it, I didn't know all the words. And I actually did know most of the words, even though some of them were not in the alto part. Because I like the song that much. But there's this whole second verse that I didn't remember, so I'm not sure if it was in the version that the chorus or choruses I was in did. So I ended up doing half of it, because the second half of it was sort of familiar, and the first half was kind of more heavy-handedly religious, and so I decided to not do that one, but do the second part of it. Of course, it is like a spiritual song, so, you know, I'm not, you know, trying to change its essence, but, well, you know, there was like something about resting on the Sabbath day and stuff, and I was like, no, that's a bit too intense for me, but, so, anyway, though, it is a beautiful song. You know, as a vegan, the line about honey is a little, but, you know, it's a line in a song, it's a metaphor, it's completely benign, and I think I get too caught up in little things like that, you know, like lyrics and songs. But anyway, though, oh, and the one other thing that I wanted to mention was when I was in chorus, they always had us do "Oftentimes I Dream of Music," and so over the years that was the way that it was always in my head in that song. But I hate when people pronounce the T in often. There was a really funny thing on an episode of 8 Simple Rules about that too that cracked me up, because it, you know, it drove home the annoyance for those of us who, you know, appreciate the silent T. Their family was making fun of the family across the street, and they're like, they say often with the T, and like, you know, this whole thing. It was funny. But not to offend anyone out there who pronounces things differently than I do. I mean, heck, I say ruin, not ruin. I think ruin is weird. My mom and I are probably the only ones on the planet who say ruin, like one syllable. Oh, and suggestion or suggested, I say both G's soft. When people make the first G hard, it sounds gagging to me. I have a point of contention with my dad about that and about rune, because you know, he pronounces it that way, and I had not even noticed people pronouncing it that way until like maybe a year ago, and I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. And apparently that's the way most people pronounce it. Oh, and one other thing other than rune, one other thing that I pronounce differently, my mom and I both pronounce differently, is draw, like this thing, which is actually drawer. I cannot comfortably say that. It's just not a natural sound or speech pattern for me. If I try to say drawer, it's weird, so I say draw. But I tease my mom about the way she pronounces some other things, but we all have our little things. And my friend Steve and I get into like little fracases about, is that the plural fracas? I don't know. We get into little arguments about pronunciations of things. But, although we get into arguments about a lot. But anyway, you can weigh in on this. He and I got into a fight once about the term great uncle, because he said it's supposed to be grand uncle. And apparently, according to the internet, both are acceptable. And he said that great uncle is like, basically like an unintelligent way of saying it. But
if it's geographical or what. I had always only heard grammatical, and yes, it doesn't make sense generationally, you know, if a great is the sibling of a grand, but it's just always the way I'd heard it, and online it says they're the same thing, so synonymous, that's even weirder. But anyway, though, total sidetrack there. But so in the song, it always was pronounced oftentimes. But then, as I, you know, was singing it on my own over the years, you know, just for the sake of singing it, I was like, why can't I do the soft T? It does not change the song, it makes it better, actually. So I do, oftentimes I dream of music. It makes it much less harsh in the middle there. I think it's much better that way, much smoother. But anyway, I ended up getting much more rambly here than I thought I was going to, but thinking about chorus gets me thinking about all my stories from my history in school and stuff, and yeah. One time I got into an argument with a chorus teacher and left before finding out that you needed to bring your own school's robe to the county chorus thing. So I had to borrow a robe from the school that it was hosted at. Yeah, there was this big point of contention. Second time I've used that in this thing, I think. But yeah, the one year county chorus, I should think it meant on Wednesdays or something, whatever night it fell on that year, the one rehearsal was on Halloween. And I was like, that's not right. And you know, I was like way into trick-or-treating, like through high school. And I still don't believe that there should be, you know, an age restriction on it. I don't think that, you know, fun is just for kids. But, you know, since I don't eat any of the candy that people are giving out, and since I don't have friends to trick-or-treat with, that has gone by the wayside. But I like when older people trick-or-treat, you know, as long as they're doing it for the right reasons and not trying to be mischievous. But anyway, though, so this kid who was a couple grades below me got a phony doctor's note to get out of the rehearsal so he could go trick-or-treating. And he didn't get in any trouble. But I was honest, and I said, I don't think it's right that there's a rehearsal at Halloween. I'm going trick-or-treating. And yeah, I almost got kicked out. But a lot of my chorus stories are not fun. Oy. But anyway, but yeah, so that is a really good song, and different than the type of things I usually do for my project. Well, there's not one particular type of song that I usually do, but you know, choral piece is a total departure. And like I said, I hadn't even known who it was written by until I looked up. I mean, I couldn't even find a lot of information on it. Like, I suppose it was originally written as a choral piece. Like, I don't see any, like, you know, performer info. But the person who wrote it does, like, Broadway stuff, so I'm like, is it from a show or something? But, like, I could not find a lot of information on it. But anyway, apparently the same guy, like, wrote for the play Newsies and stuff. I don't know, kind of interesting. And I guess Reverend Judea isn't as old as I thought. Maybe it's from the 80s or something? I don't know. I sort of did like a quick cursory search for information. But anyway, though, so apparently it's written by someone named Jack Feldman, who apparently has done a lot of Broadway stuff. But I know that song from chorus from probably as early as elementary school, maybe? Not sure. But that is a really good song, and I was having some trouble coming up with something that I felt like singing, and that came to mind, and so that's what I sang. Anyway, once again, that was my rendition of River in Judea, written by Jack Feldman and performed by many, many choruses, including some that I was in, for day 247 of my Song a Day project. As always, thanks for listening, and please check back often. I'm Kristin Star. Peace. How adorable is that? My Lillian sitting up on the mantle. No, don't pet me. We always tell her how pretty she is. Apparently she thinks she is an ornament now. And Timmy two tones. She is a beautiful girl.